So this by far was the scariest part. Install is done. It was fairly easy. What is up, y'all? Jesse here with Adventure Endeavor. Today we got a little project. We're going to be installing a water filter and UV, what is it? One of these things. A UV LED water disinfection system by Acuva. Acuva. So basically, they reached out to us. They did send us this chingadera water system, and it's pretty cool. To be honest, we never really put too much thought into our water. We always just used a inline filter. We filtered everything that came into the RV, and we just drank it. But when they sent this to us, we were kind of like, oh, we've been drinking water that maybe isn't the best for a while. You know, we get water from all sorts of different places when we're out on the road. So definitely, this is a good idea. We should have done it a long time ago, but it just kind of never crossed our minds. And I know a lot of people are very picky about water, and apparently this is a good system. We know a few friends who have actually bought this and they really like it. So today we're gonna kind of go through what's in the boxes, do a somewhat of an install video, and let you know our thoughts on it from the get-go. So you will need a power source. So that's going to be 12 volt or 110. You could do either way. Obviously, you're going to have to disconnect the water. You have to shut your water off, all that kind of stuff. But let's just kind of start and we'll go into it. This is basically the unit. This is what gets power, and the water goes through there, and there's basically a UV light in there that cleans your water. And then obviously there's a filter beforehand, a mounting bracket for this unit, a mounting bracket for the filter with a flow restrictor, some 1/4 inch line. Then I already opened the power cord. Basically pretty simple. This goes into the box on the other end. And then over here, they give you a new faucet that is going to be designated for your water. So there's that. And then obviously they give you instructions. Alright, so one thing I noticed right off the bat is that they recommend an inline fuse. That was not provided, or at least it didn't come in my kit, so I don't know if for some reason maybe it was forgotten or whatever. I just went and bought one, just a little 3 amp little bus fuse in your power source. So that's something you might need to buy or want to buy. And then as well, for me, my unit is a 2022 Grand Design Imagine, and it does not have PEX hoses. There is PEX under there, but it's not PEX where the water goes. So I ended up having to buy another valve, and I have to kind of adapt it. Went to a local plumbing store. This is what they came up with because they couldn't find a half to a half with a 1/4. I'm sure somebody makes it, but to be honest, you know, ordering it and getting the right part and all that stuff. So I just went ahead and got one locally. Might seem a little weird, but not a big deal. It'll work fine. After looking through the sink and everything, I think that I'm going to drill a hole here for the new faucet and then kind of run everything underneath. We didn't really want it in here because we plan on putting our coffee maker there, and we like this setup. Water filter is going to go there, which is easy access. I pulled out basically both of the drawers, and then you're going to want to have a towel available down there because you will get a little bit of water on the ground. Obviously, I shut off the water pump. Right now, we're not hooked up to city water, so keep that in mind if you're gonna shut off your pump or shut off your water, because you don't get a mess everywhere. And I hope you like my new headlamp. It's freaking sweet. So here is my water line, and this is not PEX. So lots of RVs, these would just be PEX, but this is just some sort of other type. It looks like they use a PEX clamp, but this is not a PEX hose, so the shark bike fittings that came with this kit will not work for me. But this is half, and then I have a 1/4 adapter with shut off. This is PEX down here. If you can see it, that's PEX that goes to the water heater. So just so you guys can tell the difference, for some reason Grand Design didn't use PEX. Not a big deal, but I did have to buy that little adapter. So it might be hard to tell, but basically I got my fittings on. I went ahead and used Teflon tape because of my setup. All right, so here's the unit. First thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you have a good mounting area. I'm gonna go ahead and mount it right here. And then you want to just double check that all of your lines and power cables will reach to the location where you're mounting it. So right here, we have an in and out for power and water. So I'm gonna put it right here, and then everything should reach without issue, which is what you're really looking for. So the instructions say that the unit can be mounted either way. So with the logo up like this, or with the logo down like this. Do not mount it vertically. That's definitely something that it says in the instructions. But basically, I mounted my rail right there. I'm gonna go this way because I think it's gonna be easier. Basically, this securely mounts, and then all of my connections are facing upward. So it should be pretty easy to plug in the water lines and the power lines. So this by far was the scariest part. Basically, I crawled underneath and I drilled a small pilot hole after measuring. And it's hard to tell, but that's my pilot hole right there. Now I gotta come back and hit it with a 3/4 inch bit. The faucet and the wire can be fed down through. So kind of scary, but just measure twice and drill once. That was fun. Alright guys, so in this package, they basically give you spacer with an O-ring, a fastener, a tube support, and a ferrule. So don't lose your little tube support and your little ferrule. The spacer basically allows you to run the wire for the faucet through. So that's pretty important. You're gonna drop your wire down in. They give you plenty of length, which is nice. And you did the 3/4 inch because obviously you had your faucet that need to go through plus the wire, and that is perfect. We wanted ours on a slight angle, so that way if it drips at all, it's gonna drip right back into the sink. It looks great, it's fancy. Now we're gonna go underneath and tighten everything up. Might be hard to tell, but here's our water line, and obviously there's an in and an out, so you gotta connect the right size, but you can't forget to add your flow restrictor. This is an inline thing, so you're gonna have to cut your line and put this in line. Here's your flow restrictor. You're cutting your line, and these are just like little sharp bike press-on fittings. So you're just gonna splice it, put this in line, and then connect on the actual device itself. We're gonna go ahead and mount the pre-filter. They give you 2 little brackets, they give you screws. Obviously there's a flow, so be aware of that before you hook up your lines. Make sure you do it the correct way. All right, so we got our connections in, water out, the power from the faucet. We have our flow restrictor, our filter, our pre-filter, and then obviously everything that we did here. Now the last thing I gotta do is I gotta find my 12-volt power. So I used some 12-volt power when we did the composting toilet, and that is outside in the underbelly. I'm gonna go ahead and go to that same connection and just connect the 12-volt. It's just simple and easy. A few moments later. Turned on the water pump, opening the valve. Whoa, checking for leaks. Obviously we have a leak right there, so I gotta shut this guy off and fix that. So I got everything all finished up. So they do say to run this for about 2 minutes when you first do it. I'm guessing that's because when they make the filter, the inline filter, there's probably some stuff in there that they want to flow out. I'm not gonna run anymore because I've already done it. Obviously you can tell the blue light comes on, so that means it's good drinking water. The install is done. It was fairly easy. Mine was a little custom just because I didn't have PEX under there, which if you guys don't have PEX, then I would say just go to a local plumbing store because you're gonna need a different fitting. So the LED indicator is pretty cool, and basically if it's blue, you're good to go. No light, obviously it's idle, so it's not doing anything, it's not wasting any power. There is a green light, and the green light means that that's cleaning. I guess it's 30 seconds, it does a self-cleaning, which is kind of cool. If you get a red light, that means that your light, your UV light that is cleaning your water is not working, so you need to make sure. They recommend to just unplug the unit and plug it back in. And then if you get a blinking yellow, that means you have low input voltage, so you gotta check your voltage, check your fuse, check all that kind of stuff. But fairly simple. We're excited to have nice drinking water. We didn't really make that a priority, which is kind of a fail on our part, but I don't know, it's weird when you have a baby on the way. You start like looking at everything and you're like, oh, could this be better, could this be healthier, could this be whatever. So nice, safe drinking water is great. We probably will still use inline filter with all of our water that comes into our rig in general. It's just another added precaution, but now we know at least what we're drinking is going to be 100% legit. Let us know what you guys think of this system. We will link it below. And like I said, they did send it to us, but we want to give you guys an honest review, kind of the install, everything like that. We might do another video down the road, just kind of talking about our thoughts of it so far. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.